Welcome to News Now Alberta. This is Special Ed. Today we're looking at a second update on the videos that I've made before about an elderly man who was slammed to the ground, busted his head, broke his neck, lots of things went wrong. This elderly man was already fighting cancer, and we'll just watch the video and I'll update as I go.
Now to a News 4 exclusive. More big developments surrounding a very controversial Oklahoma City police encounter.
We were the first news outlet to tell you the officer involved has resigned. It comes months after then Sergeant Joseph Gibson took an elderly man to the ground during a traffic stop last October. Police say 71-year-old Lick Vu touched and shouted at Gibson.
This footage is part of a nearly 6-minute video released by Oklahoma City Police in November. But now the attorney representing Lou's family is giving us never-before-seen footage from the same call.
News 4's John Hayes takes us through it.
Your vehicle is not like that.
Sit down.
No.
You sit down. Get on the ground.
No. See, sir. It's video from a traffic stop we've been showing you for months now. An argument between now former Oklahoma City Police Sergeant Joseph Gibson and 71-year-old Liv Vu over a traffic ticket escalating.
Now, we've seen this video before. This was a very violent takedown for someone just tapping his chest with the back of his hand.
Hey, roll fire and IMS out here and a supervisor. I got into use of force.
But you haven't seen this. Several minutes of new video shows everything Gibson said and did after Vu ended up on the ground. You can see Vu's wife clearly distraught.
He passed out bleeding. He died.
No, he's not. No. Go sit over there.
A few minutes later, things escalate between them.
Go over there.
I need a picture with this.
Go over there.
Yes, sir.
You're about to get sprayed. Go over there now.
So he tells the concerned wife, "You're about to get sprayed." Like, this cop does not know when to stop.
Now, go over there. Sit.
Gibson eventually unlocks Vu's handcuffs before another officer shows up.
He still has a pulse, but he hit his head.
Vu's attorney tells us he suffered a brain bleed that required surgery, broken bones, and was already in poor health battling cancer. The second officer is unsuccessful at waking him up at first. Gibson eventually makes a request.
You might check for a pulse. I'm getting adrenaline.
Vu eventually wakes up, but is unable to move much. His wife comes back to check in.
Go over there.
That's my husband.
I understand it's your husband, but you need to wait right there.
Vu is on the ground for about 6 minutes before an ambulance shows up. Gibson explains to paramedics what he says happened.
I grabbed a hold of him, he fell, he hit his head whenever he fell, pretty hard. There was a knot, lost unconsciousness, he's bleeding. This guy laying on the ground.
Gibson.
So he lies to the paramedic, saying, "I grabbed him and he fell." He fell pretty freaking fast and pretty freaking hard.
Supervisor shows up next, but we don't see the conversation.
Talking to Lieutenant Gary, turn the body camera off.
Attorney Devin Jacob plans to sue Gibson on the Vu family's behalf.
Mr. Gibson is not going to be the only defendant.
That's because Jacob says this is a complex case with many factors, starting with a criminal charge Oklahoma County District Attorney Vicky Behena filed against Gibson for aggravated assault and battery. Oklahoma Attorney General Gentner Drummond later dropped the charge, saying Gibson acted within the scope of his training.
So King Pig here stepped over what he should be allowed to do and got all the charges dropped, even though the prosecutor wanted to charge him. And he says that's all in his training. I don't think I've ever read anywhere that the training for a police officer is to slam an elderly man on the ground and crack his head.
There's a question now as to who actually is in charge of setting the training, which apparently Mr. Gibson was complying with when he assaulted and nearly killed my client.
There's also the internal review we were told last year was underway. It could have led to discipline for Gibson had he not resigned.
The information trickled over through the rumor mill, and that's how the family found out.
Police won't share any results or recommendations with us.
They're essentially telling their officers that, it's really bad if you break the law, but if you get a pass for breaking the law, then we're going to give you a pass and let you slide out of here without any repercussion.
So letting him step down instead of firing him gives him his full pension and stops the internal investigation. Like, this guy's getting away with absolutely everything.
I requested interviews this week with Chief of Police Ron Basie, City Manager Craig Freeman, OKC FOP President Mark Nelson, and former Attorney General Mike Hunter, one of Gibson's attorneys. All of them declined. Nelson, though, sent us a statement Tuesday saying the FOP supports Gibson's decision to resign. Jacob says he's concerned about the lack of transparency.
We're going to find out exactly what happened, and I assure the public that the story is going to be made public, all of it, every detail.
He also has serious concerns about something Gibson could be heard saying.
I grabbed a hold of him, he fell, he hit his head.
Those same words also showed up on the report Gibson filled out.
A police report is an official record, and if you or I, make a false statement to the police, we would be charged with a crime for, making false reports. So again, we need to look at those reports and see if everything contained in those reports was truthful, and if they're not truthful, was it an intentional or an intent to mislead an investigation?
It wasn't intent to mislead. It was a blatant lie. And cutting the web or the dash cam or the body cam off when he's talking to the sergeant and not turning it back on again when the stop or everything is still going on is also not within police policy or within law.
Because that's also a question that needs to be answered here.
John Hayes, Oklahoma's News 4.
All right, John, thank you. Now, Jacob also told John while they initially planned to file the lawsuit last month, it's now been delayed to April. He says it's due to citations issued to VU for assault and a traffic citation he says can't be accounted for.
Jacob says he's under the impression District Attorney Vicky Behena does not plan to file charges for assault, but would like to get that in writing first. As far as the traffic citation, Jacob says he was told by court officials they do not have any record of it being filed.
John reached out to Behena's office for comment, but hasn't heard back yet.
So they're making everything disappear. They're trying to sweep that under the rug. This attorney doesn't look like he's going to let it sweep it under the rug. So there might be more updates about this. I will link my 2 previous videos about this incident in my description. Check them out and let me know what you think. Let me know in the comments. Check out my Patreon, where for $1 a month you get my videos a week in advance with other perks coming. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.